Championship week on FS1 continues. Tonight, it's the inaugural NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Championship 4 race, kicking off what promises to be a thrilling weekend in Miami, NASCAR's title town. 4 drivers will enter Homestead-Miami Speedway with a shot at the championship, but only one will walk away with the title. Veterans Matt Crafton.
And it is my pleasure for the second year in a row to announce that Matt Crafton is the Camping World Truck Series champion.
Johnny Sauter.
And Sauter is going to go 2 for 2. Johnny Sauter wins at Texas.
And Timothy Peters.
That whole team, they got to hug Timothy Peters and say, you drive like that, we will be champion, because it was all heart.
Will battle rookie Christopher Bell for the top honors.
To the checkered flag is Christopher Bell. His first win of the season. Victory at Gateway.
2-time truck champion Todd Bodine talks with each of the championship's 4 drivers about their approach to tonight's race.
I'm going to go into Homestead just like it was Daytona or Texas or any other race. I've got 31 guys to beat. And if I can beat those 31 guys this Friday, I can be the champion.
It's the inaugural chase for the championship. History will be made tonight. It's time to get you set up. And then there were 4. Red Horse Racing Toyota driver Timothy Peters finished second in the standings in 2012 and has 5 top 5 point finishes in his career. 21-year-old Christopher Bell will attempt to become the second rookie to win a championship. 2-time Truck Series champion Matt Crafton has 7 wins in his last 25 starts on intermediate tracks. And veteran Johnny Sauter boasts 2 wins and a runner-up finish in his last 3 races. Welcome, everybody, into our setup studio here in Charlotte. I'm John Roberts alongside of 2-time series champion Todd Bodine. Todd, that hardware looks really good, but this time around, it's all about the numbers.
It's real simple, JR. We got 4 drivers all trying to take home one of these. 134 laps. The first one of those 4 to the start-finish line gets to take this thing home with them.
Sounds simple.
Sounds real simple, but it's not.
Yeah, a lot harder to get done. 38-year-old Johnny Sauter is seeking his first championship in his 8th season. Matt Crafton holds the record for the most starts in series history with 384 and is seeking his 3rd championship. Norman, Oklahoma native Christopher Bell has 1 win and 9 top 5s this season, and Timothy Peters has finished in the top 10 in all 6 chase races. It's time now for the grid report, and for that, we send it out to Hermie Sadler.
Well, Timothy, here it goes tonight for all the marbles. Your team has really battled a lot of adversity to get to this point. Your emotions as you get ready to try to capture your first Truck Series championship.
Pretty surreal being in this point for sure. You know, Shane coming on board this year, a lot of new guys on this team with the exception of a handful, you know. So the way we unloaded at Daytona earlier this year and the chemistry that we had, you know, it felt like we worked together for 5 to 10 years. So we just knew that if we could stay on track and just sharpen that a little bit, that all we wanted was a chance, and here we go. So we got nothing to lose and all to gain tonight.
You start 13th. How difficult will it be to pass on this track, and what's the key to running well at Homestead?
Well, I think, you know, it's having a really good balanced truck that could go bottom, middle, or top. You know, we started 14th or 16th last year and we finished 5th. So the track's been very kind to us. We balanced our truck really good in race runs earlier today. Obviously, we'd like to be starting a little bit further up towards the front with our Toyota Tundra, but, you know, proud of what Shane and all the guys have adjusted for us, and we think that tonight is our night.
That's Timothy Peters. He is one of our championship 4. Caitlin?
Well, Hermie, another driver who's going after the title, Christopher Bell. This is the first time we've had this chase format. What has this experience been like for you going through this as a rookie?
It's been a lot of fun, really. I'm really glad that NASCAR decided to put the chase down to all 3 series. And let me tell you, it's added a bunch of drama, a bunch of excitement, and a bunch of nerves, too. I couldn't imagine what the Cup guys go through year in and year out, you know, where whoever beats who wins. It's definitely nerve-wracking, but I'm really excited. I know our JBL Tundra is going to be really good tonight, so just got to put it all together, and I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, you qualified 8th, but how are you feeling about your truck in race trim?
Well, I felt like our truck kind of all year long has been better in race trim than we have been qualifying trim, so no different tonight. I feel like we'll race better than we qualified, so I just hope we can contend for the win.
Well, thanks for your time and best of luck to you. Now let's check in with Vince and the guys in the booth.
Well, it's great to hear from Caitlin and, of course, Christopher Bell and the different thoughts as those guys get ready for the championship. Timothy Peters as well. Of course, Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. 32 drivers in the field tonight. They've all got their own agenda. Let's begin with the 4 that are going for the championship, Phil.
Yeah, Vince, it's amazing, really. We started off this season at Daytona, and we had 3 veterans in the series, really. We had Johnny Sauter, Timothy Peters, and Matt Crafton. And oh, by the way, we get here, and there are 3 of those 4 along with Christopher Bell. But I'm telling you, Matt Crafton's felt this feeling before of winning a championship. He did it twice. He could become a guy in rarefied air to win this thing 3 times. It hadn't happened very often. And we've got 3 other guys, Michael, that I think if they won this championship tonight would probably, everything else they've done in their career would pale in comparison. It's a big deal to win a NASCAR championship, and we have 4 guys with a shot at it tonight.
And, you know, the thing that I love about this series, you talk about the veterans, there's 7 teenagers starting in the top 12. We got youth, we've got experience, we've got it all. And 3 of the guys starting at the front of this field, William Byron, Cole Custer, and Kyle Larson, they don't care about a championship. They're here to win a race. Winning a race is a big deal. Obviously, the championship is the goal when you start the season, but you better win every race you get a chance to because they don't come along very often. That's why tonight's going to be such a fun affair. We've got differing agendas. We got tires that fall off. You're going to come to pit road and get tires, maybe with the green-white checker at the end, a 2-lap sprint on new tires. It's going to have it all, and I can't wait to watch it play out.
Well, I like all those different agendas. The exciting part's going to see how they mesh tonight with the championship and everything else that's on the line this evening. Looking forward to it, John.
Vince, thank you. Johnny Sauter is the only one of the 4 finalists to earn a win in the chase as he won back-to-back races at Martinsville in Texas to advance to the finals. We hear from the GMS driver coming up on the setup.
To win the championship, you know, you're going to have to go down to Miami and execute.
It's going to take a flawless and mistake-free performance at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
In order to win the Truck Series championship, you got to have a perfect race, no mistakes.
Qualifying, track position, and great pit stops.
You know, all the year's work, all the year's setup notes, all the stuff that you've accumulated over the year, now it's time to put it all together and make something great.
There are 3 huge prizes up for grabs this weekend in South Florida, and that is one of them. The Camping World Truck Series Championship is the first of the 3 that will go to some driver who will make history in the first ever chase format race for the Truck Series. So let's take a look at what it would have been like if there was no chase. Johnny Sauter would have been your points leader with William Byron just 9 behind. And you know what, Todd? Had we had this old format this year, it would have been a big difference.
It would have been. You know, Sauter, as strong as he was the second half of the year, that's why he was in the points league. But on the strength of William Byron's 6 wins, he would have still been second in the points with a shot to beat Sauter. But the other side of that coin is the lack of performance by Matt Crafton in the second half of the year. He's only 6th, 60 points out with no shot to win. So this chase has changed everything.
That was then, this is now. Let's take a look at the qualifying highlights. And Johnny Sauter, he will be the farthest back of the 4 chasers. 19th, Todd.
Yeah, didn't expect this from Johnny. Now, his truck was really good in race trim, and we'll have to see if he can get it to the front.
Timothy Peters, another one of the championship 4, will start 13th.
Timothy's never qualified well here, but has always raced in the top 10 at the end of the race. So he needs to be in the top 5 tonight if he's going to be able to get that trophy.
The youngster, Christopher Bell, will start 8th.
Only Christopher's second race at Homestead, and it's by far the most important race of his career.
And the best qualifier out of the championship 4 was 2-time champion Matt Crafton. He will start 4th.
Last year's pole sitter, last year's race winner, the only championship 3 have to pass him to get to the trophy.
And if you don't think William Byron still has a lot to prove, the 6-time winner this season will start on the pole as he looks to win this final race of the season. So, as far as your championship 4 drivers go, Matt Crafton will start 4th and Christopher Bell will start 8th. Chip Ganassi Racing announced earlier today that Tyler Reddick will pilot the number 42 Chevrolet Camaro in multiple Xfinity Series races in 2017.
Yeah, on our second page, Timothy Peters, our other chaser, is 13th, but the shocker of the day is Johnny Sauter starting 19th. He's got a long way to go to get to the front.
Time now for Todd's 3 keys for the Championship 4 drivers. And Todd, usually at this time we're talking about keys to winning the race, but tonight you don't necessarily have to win this race.
No, these Championship 4 have to race each other. And that's the hardest thing to do as a race car driver, is not race the whole field. But they have to understand that through the run, through the race, don't worry about the guys around you. You have to beat those other 3 Championship 4, and that's the goal at the end of the night.
Now, since this is such a different beast, it still brings us back to another thing. Don't take yourself out of contention.
And that's really easy to do at Homestead. As slick as this place is, as little grip as it has, here we see Daniel Suarez last year. He wasn't in the championship hunt, but he made a mistake. He got in a little deep. He got up against this lap truck, and it sucked him right around, took him out of the race. Now, these Championship 4, they have to realize these things, and they can't race these guys like that, so they have to be careful.
And it's also good to have friends out there, isn't it?
You got to have friends everywhere you go, and it's a team effort. It's like football, and these guys on the pit crew are so important. Eric Jones last year, tire guy carries the tire around and it gets away from him. Now this isn't, he goes and gets it, so it's not a penalty, but it took him a couple extra seconds to get back to the truck, get to the left front tire, and that cost him positions on the racetrack. And if you're in this chase, you cannot lose positions on pit road.
Yes, and this is a completely different beast for the truck drivers this time around. It's a winner take all in this Championship 4. Todd Bodine is the proud owner of 2 championship rings, and Timothy Peters wants to walk away with some jewelry of his own tonight.
To pull this off and to get one of those rings, because I've been sitting here the whole time we've been talking, eyeing it up, you know, so I sure would like to put that on my finger.
When the setup rolls on, our 2-time truck champion talks with Peters and the 3 other drivers in contention for the championship.
This Sunday at Homestead-Miami Speedway, 4 of NASCAR's best drivers compete for the 2016 Sprint Cup title. You want to know who will be crowned champion? Tune in to NASCAR Race Day at 11:30 a.m. only on FS1.
A 2-hour race day comes your way at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday on Fox Sports 1 as those 4 drivers take a shot at the Sprint Cup Championship on Sunday. These 4 drivers are attempting to claim the trophy tonight in the inaugural Camping World Truck Series Championship 4 race from Homestead-Miami Speedway. A champion is defined as someone that has won a contest or a competition. Names like Petty, Earnhardt, Ali, and Jordan come to mind. 2-time truck champion Todd Bodine sat down with the 4 drivers looking to add the word champion in front of their name.
Matt Crafton, Christopher Bell, and Timothy Peters will join Johnny Sauter as the Championship 4 at Homestead.
A dirt racer from Oklahoma. You know, you've won races. You've won a lot of races, a few championships, and here you are in your rookie year in the truck season. How does this happen that you are in the finals in the truck series?
Well, I'll be honest, Todd, it's kind of been crazy for me too to look back at it, because after my 7 races last year and looking into this year, knowing I was going to be with Kyle Busch Motorsports, I kind of foresaw myself competing for a championship. But then after the way this year started out, I kind of wrote that off because I'd made so many mistakes early on in the year. But thankfully, with the format change and the way the chase works out, we were able to kind of hit our stride at the right part of the season, and now here we are headed to Homestead with a shot, as good a shot as anybody to be the Truck Series champion.
Johnny Sauter, a team with a lot of momentum on his side.
And he's won the last 2 races.
Can't wait to get to Homestead and see what happens.
Going to a racetrack, you've had quite a bit of success. You won there before, and if I recall that weekend, you won practice, you were on the pole, and you won the race. You think that going to a place like this is an advantage for you?
I do. Homestead is a great racetrack, and it's just one of those places that you look forward to, or at least I do, going there every year. It's a 1.5 miles, but it races a lot like a short track, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
To me, I feel like you can race all over that place, you know, the bottom, the middle, the top, and we say that, you know, somewhat throughout the course of the year, but it's really truthful at going into Homestead. So, you know, having won there in the past, I'm smart enough to know that that's yesterday's news and it doesn't really matter because setups and things change and evolve so much. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, if a driver likes a racetrack or thinks he likes a racetrack, going in there, he's going to have a better weekend.
And how about Timothy Peters up in the 3rd spot right now?
Peters with a shot at the championship.
What would getting this championship mean to Timothy Peters in the scheme of his career and what it's taken to get to this point?
I'm a blue-collar guy from South Central Virginia, you know, And I've had a lot of people, including my mom and dad, help me get to this point. And I hope I can go down there and make everyone that, believed in me and knew what my dad saw when I was, 6 or 7, proud. It would mean the world for me to give those guys back what they did for me.
I don't have any pressure. I mean, to be honest, I've won a couple of them, and it feels good. Just go there knowing we have a shot at it. Straight up right now, whoever wins, and we're taking off the gloves. I promise you that. Any one of us can win this race and win this championship. There's a reason why we're here. It's because we're good racers. And if the truck's good and everything works out right, I still say it's going to come down to that last pit stop. It's going to come down. I'm trying to put the pressure on some of the pit crew guys and stuff, but it will. I mean, without a doubt, you got to have that pit stop that's going to put you out front and to be able to contend to win.
Racing against 3 veterans for a championship that have a bunch of laps there. Nothing can replace those laps, and nothing is more of an advantage than having experience somewhere. So I am at a disadvantage, but I feel like where I have the advantage is I'm driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports. And they're so competitive, and all we got to do is hit the setup one time, and the championship could be ours. So it'll be a moment I won't ever forget, my first time racing for a NASCAR championship.
I don't have nerves right now. I feel very comfortable with where we are as a team. Yes, I've been racing long enough and been close enough to winning a championship. I feel like this is my best shot.
This race, it does have a lot on the line, but I feel like we have all to gain and nothing to lose. So I'm going down there, I'm going to dig down deep for my guys because I know they're digging down deep for me. And I'm going to go out there and do my best to win this championship.
I'm going to go into Homestead just like it was Daytona or Texas or any other race. I've got 31 guys to beat. And if I can beat those 31 guys this Friday, I can be the champion. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to worry about where Johnny Sauter's running, or Christopher Bell's running, or Timothy Peters running. I'm gonna go out there and try to win the race and take care of it that way.
I totally disagree with what Matt Crafton just said. He doesn't have to race 31 guys. He only has to beat 3. If you race those other guys, you take a chance of getting in trouble, and that's what you can't do. So race 3 guys, not 31.
So when you met with these guys earlier in the week, Todd, they all seemed really calm, cool, and collected. What do you think they're feeling like right now?
Oh, man, I guarantee you they got nerves right now. All day they've been meeting with sponsors, they practice, and now driver introduction and all the people on pit road wishing them well. They've got nerves going, but I tell you, the one thing, when I strapped in there and I turned that truck on and started that motor, it was all gone. It was all about the job and racing and getting it done, and that's exactly what's going to happen tonight.
Yeah, they've had a lot of time to think about it, but that should go out the window as soon as they start that engine. Now, champion will be crowned tonight. 4 drivers, a trio of veterans, and 1 rookie. They all have a shot at the championship trophy. Matt Crafton won 2 series championships back-to-back in 2013 and 14. Overall, 13 different drivers have won the Truck Series championship. Ron Hornaday holds the record for the most titles with 4. Jack Sprague won 3. Todd Bodine won in 2006 and again in 2010. And Matt Crafton looks to claim his 3rd tonight, and he is with Hermie Sadler.
Well, John, we've seen Matt Crafton win these things before, 2-time champion in this series, but how different is it tonight trying to win it in this format?
We're just going to go out and race it like it's been any other race in 2016. Just go out there and try to win the race, and the points will take care of itself, to be honest. And we're not going to sit there and worry about where the 17s running, where the 4s running, where the 21s running. We're just going to go out there and race as hard as we can from the green flag to the checkered flag and see how the cards fall at that point.
How about the change in the racetrack? We practiced this morning, qualified in the evening heat. We're racing at night, much cooler. How do you think that'll affect the track and your truck?
Oh, it's going to change it quite a bit. And that's why during the morning practice is probably one of our better practices temperature-wise, but the track doesn't have any rubber on it. But the Cup cars have been out there, Xfinity cars have been out there, and they've put a lot of rubber down, and now the temperature's down. So it's going to change quite a bit. So hopefully we have enough adjustability in this Menards Toyota Tundra to keep this thing up front all night.
Well, Caitlin, Matt is a 2-time champion trying to win number 3, and he'll do it from the 4th starting position.
Well, Hermie, another championship hopeful with me now, Johnny Sauter. Lots of experience at this racetrack. How do you anticipate this track changing throughout the course of the night?
It's loud down here, isn't it? you know, obviously it's going to be a huge transition from today, just when we fired off the truck, to qualifying in the afternoon to racing at night. So you said I have experience. Some of it's been good, some of it's been bad, but real proud of everybody on our Allegiant Travel Chevy. I didn't qualify as good as we wanted to, but I don't think that's a big surprise because we haven't qualified that great at a lot of places this year. So just got to be smart. You know, I think everybody's going to try to hog the top or run right around the rim, and you know, we're going to have to be able to run in the middle and run the bottom to pass a bunch of them guys. So I don't know. We'll just see what we got and, you know, try to make the best of it.
This format definitely creates some stress for the drivers, but how have you found a method to help manage that and the intensity of this format?
You know, I don't feel any pressure. I mean, it is, you know, I know what we need to do. And you can look at it a million different ways and have a million different scenarios, but things are going to play out. Things are going to happen that you don't anticipate. And, you know, you just got to be smart, take care of your stuff. But, you know, obviously you want to win the championship. There's no doubt about it. But, you know, you got to do everything else right before you can even worry about that. So we'll see where we end up here towards the end of the, end of the race.
Thank you for your time. Best of luck to you. Johnny Sauter, 3-time winner this season. Looking for another one tonight, though, John.
Caitlin, thank you. Of course, he's got some drivers to pass, but it's time now for Todd's take on tonight's championship. Todd, will a Championship 4 driver have an issue in a pit stop?
I guarantee there's an issue on a pit stop. There's a lot of pressure on these pit crews. When you have pressure and the nerves create mistakes, and somebody's going to have a mistake.
Will a Championship 4 driver win the race tonight?
I don't know. I don't think so. They got some good guys in front of them they got to beat. William Byron and Kyle Larson are the two guys they got to beat.
Okay, now we're really going to put you on the line here. Who's going to win this championship?
Well, I think this is the most evenly matched 4 that we could have. So there's only one thing that separates them: momentum. And right now, Johnny Sauter has got momentum. He's got 2 wins and a second in the last 3 races. I'm giving it to Sauter.
Yeah, he seemed very calm, cool, and collected. He said he knows exactly what they need to do. Absolutely. So it's going to be interesting. It's the first ever for the Truck Series. 201 miles, 134 laps. The first of the Championship 4 drivers to cross the finish line tonight will become the series champion. Vince Welch, Phil Parsons, and Michael Waltrip have the call. Enjoy the race.